Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. So this is Asim here. So today we are gonna talk about the $8,000 NPM token bug which I found recently, and that led me to access their private repositories and a lot of code bases, due to which they awarded double the amount that had been allocated for the critical. So for critical they had the maximum amount for 4,000, however they awarded $8,000 for the same. So the difference in this video and the blog is that I would be talking about some automation that I have added into Burp. Like you could also use that for finding these tokens automatically if you don't want to do the exporting the JS file and then searching, doing grep on those things. So I would be talking about that towards the end of the video. So if you want to just read the article, which I would suggest you do after watching the video, so the link for that is in the description. So now let's start with the report. So it all started with this channel itself. So I had been making videos for web security as well as bug bounty for the past 1 month. So recently, recently I started this bug bounty series. So there are 2 series currently on the channel. So the first one is about the Be the Hacker series, where I talk about the general web application security bugs. And then there's this series where I talk about bug bounties. So the format of videos on the Be the Hacker series is, first I talk about the application bug that's in there, and then we do a mission on hack this site, and then I show some real world application by reports that have been around those bugs. Like suppose there's some CSRF bug on that, in the hack this site mission. So first we would talk about the CSRF bug, then we would solve the mission based on that, whatever we have learned, and then based on that I would show some reports about CSRF attacks, which basically shows the impact in the real world. So due to that I've been reading a lot of reports, and based on that it rekindled the bug hunter inside me. So last time I did some bug hunting was around 1.5 years back. So I got some private invites due to the JDBC GitHub doc which I talked about in the previous video. So due to that I found some credentials leaking on some public programs, and from there the report got tracked and it got resolved. I got some points, and based on those award points I got some invites. Since I was making videos on bug bounty, so I thought I should brush up my skills. I should look at the automation Recon I had made earlier that time. So a lot has changed from that. I've been reading blog posts, I've been following the level up talks and all those things. So a lot of tool but the basic thing remains the same, that you first need to find the subdomains and all those things. You need to increase your recon, increase your attack surface so as to get better much targets where you could hack upon. So it remains the same. So in the last video about bug bounty I was talking about how you could decide on a program, and I talked about the number of reports as well, the assets, payout, response efficiency and all those things. So based on that, so earlier I was choosing a public program and I had a private program as well. So I had to choose between these two, but the public program was only 50 to 60 reports that had been resolved. It was a new program and it was a cryptocurrency one, but still since it had only 50 to 60 programs, and this private program was running from 2015, but the number of reports resolved were above 550. So that was good, and payout was also good. Assets, all the subdomains were in assets, and response time was very fast, in 2 days or within 10 days you would get the bounty. So it quite fit the matching criteria which I had. So if you want to look at the matching criteria and all the things I talked about, do check out my previous video. So recently on the Be the Hacker series I was talking about template injection bugs. So and using template injection you could get RC. So that was what I was trying on every input field, wherever I could see it. So there was a report I read about where you could once you did a reset thing and you in the reset email, the template injection was being done. So I tried that as well and tried a lot of other things, but the template wasn't being injected. I tried to figure out which template injection engine was it being used, so I tried that also, but none of them worked out. Then I moved on to finding some IDOS, and later on I had read about authorize recently, so I tried that also for improper access control. So earlier I used to do it manually, I had to a different session into different browsers, and then once I did this request, copied the URL in another browser. So authorize automated all of that. So after using user B's cookies, which is a low privilege user, you would try to you would add those cookies in authorize, and then you would try to serve the application as you are the admin. So authorize, what authorize would do is it would try those same requests which you are using, which you are doing through the admin account using the cookies of a regular user. So if some of the web pages, it shows the actual response which is equal to the response that you got from the admin account, so it would mark it as like bypassed or enforced or similar kind of thing. You could see the screenshot here. Then I started looking JS files for basically increasing my scope as well as to find some secrets there. So I downloaded all the JS files and then started grepping into it. So to download JS file, there could be two ways. So if you have a Websocket Pro license, you could straight away extract all the scripts into a file with the like URL as well. So URL and then all the JS content, then the other second URL, then JS content. So if you have like 10 or 15 JS files, all those could be extracted into that. You could remove the duplicates as well while before extracting as well. So the other thing, if you don't have a Websocket Pro license, if you are like me, if you are, so you could extract the JS URLs. First you should get it from the burp itself, and then once you have got those JS URLs or whatever way you get the JS URLs, you could use this bash script to get all those JS files. Or if you have like JS file which has something appended into the end, you could cut that out using the this second command. So urls.txt basically contains all the JS files, JS file URLs one line by line. So after I downloaded all the JS files, I kept all those into a directory, in a separate directory. I cd into that and then ran gf command like gf space URLs to get all the URL endpoints. So there I found a private IP leaking in one of the files. So I opened that file. So it was a minified JS. There I found that there was an NPM token parameter and there was an NPM token there. So you could easily guess I was quite excited that I got a token, because usually these tokens have some access like API tokens, and they have access to some resources which has some programmatic access. So it could be that it has some privileged access. So the thing was, I was not very experienced with NPM, and the only thing I knew it was that it was a node package manager. I had used it like once a while, and the last time I had used it, I guess it was when I was doing a Vue.js tutorial, or I made a Vue.js application 2.5 years back, I guess 2 or 3 years back when I was in college. So then I researched for some things. So I found that it's being used in continuous integration system, which could be obvious because these tokens are basically robot tokens, and like scripts use these tokens, or you could use them so that you don't have to log into those applications. You could just send the token and the response you would get as a logged in user. So other thing that I read about was that there are different types of tokens: read and publish only. Then there's a CIDR whitelisted tokens. So basically CIDR whitelisted token is where the token access would be restricted to some particular IPs. Like suppose if I have a CIDR whitelisted token to my home, so you could access the resources based on the tokens from my home IP only, and you won't be able to access from other places. So these are some of the restrictions that could be put upon that. Another thing, so the final thing that I read was how to use NPM token. So this was the article. So it basically mentioned that you need to have it like the registry name, then /:_auth token and the auth token. But since these were being like used in the CI environment, so they also mentioned that you could also use secure variables, and for that you would have an encrypt section. So it could be that this NPM token that I found, it could be that it was an encrypted token. So I was a bit worried around here that if it was an encrypted token, then all the worth would be like lost, right? So I read a few more articles, I tried that, so I added it into my npm rc file. So the npm rc file looked like this. So npmgesture.org, registry.npmgesture.org is where the public registry is there, where usually people like post their npm packages. So I tried npm whoami command. It's the first command which tells you like the whose token you are using. So but in vain, nothing happened. I didn't get any response. So that was Wednesday. It was day 1 of hacking. I did a lot of things. I couldn't find anything worthwhile. So next day after office work in the evening around 8 p.m. I started looking back into it. So Just to give a context, in January this year, I had been reading about cross-site WebSocket hijacking. So it's basically a CSRF attack, but on WebSocket. So what happens in these days, most of the modern web applications are based on some of the framework, like it could be Flask framework, Django, Ruby on Rails, and all those things. So these have CSRF security mechanism inbuilt. So in most of the cases, those would be like there would be anti-CSRF token, and you might not like be able to bypass. But WebSockets, like developers tend to forget about that, and so there's a high chance that you might get a CSRF attack on the WebSockets. So I looked into the Burp Labs and these articles. So there I read about it and practiced it also. So I also read one article on like this one. So it's on Recon list. So it's from 3 researchers. Those 3 are all good researchers: File Descriptor, Ronchan, and Ed Overflow. So in the end, they mentioned that if same site is being enabled, which Chrome is pushing and Firefox is also following through. So if it's enabled, so what would happen is cross-site WebSocket hijacking would be totally dead. And then I read about the Chromium site updates. So there I found that they had been rolling out earlier this year. So on April 3 they had started rolling out, but since the coronavirus pandemic happened, so they stopped rolling out, and from 28 May they announced that they would be rolling out again from July 14. So like last week. So I had some sliver of lining, so I could use a previous stable version, or I could use a Firefox, or I could show that impact on some other site. So I tried looking for CHWs. So I found it. I thought that I found it because there were cookies that were being used to create the WebSocket hijack WebSocket connection. So I could basically make a POC HTML file, exploit file, where I could like connect to the WebSocket connection where the victim would be connecting. So, but I didn't get any messages. So on closer inspection, I found that there was a nonce parameter, which acted basically like the anti-CSRF token, and this nonce value was fetched from the server by the client. In earlier some other request, there was a GET request where you get the like nonce parameter. However, the second day didn't go totally in vain. I found 2 bugs in like WebSocket thing, which I tweeted about also. If you would have been following me on Twitter, you would have seen that I tweeted about these 2 WebSocket bugs. So I reported it to them. So on day 3, after spending some time on looking some other bugs, trying to find some other bugs, since I didn't found anything, so I thought like I should look back again for the NPM token. So I tried to unuglify the JS file where I found the NPM token. So you could do it in 2 ways. So the first could be like you could do it in the browser itself. So you go on the debugger like Chrome DevTools or in Mozilla Firefox DevTools. So those are very good for you. It's very handy and friendly to do these things. Not exactly friendly, but it's very useful. You would have a lot of things like base64 conversions, and then these type of prettifying the JS and all those things. Like if you have the mapping file, you could also like segregate the modules into their compartments. So those could be easily done in the browser window itself instead of doing it using some other tool. So you would go to debugger, then you would select the file, and then there's a thing like your curly braces. You click on this and it would be prettified. So there's also you might see pretty print here. So you could do that as well. So there I did a command F, like control F, to search for the NPM token, and near the NPM token I found there was a private registry link, and I thought that time that I should have realized that if the token was for private repo, so it must be not on the public NPM registry, rather on a private registry, since this was org being using the tokens and not a particular user. So if I'm a like individual, I might use the like public registry and have some personal NPM files there. But since this was a company, I should have thought that they might have their own like registry itself. So I went to the link and found that this was the registry which was there. So I quickly replaced the registry link in the npm rc file, and when I did npm whoami command, I found that it was for the registry CI. Then I tried fetching list of like packages in the private npm registry. So the package name I got it from like JS files itself. So it was @company/ the package name. So the only command that you need for that is npm view and then private repo. So you need to have these 2 commands in your .npm rc file, and then if you do just enter the command, npm would automatically fetch the configuration from the npm rc file. So I got I saw those things. The GitHub link was private, obviously. Version number. There was the download link. I could actually download the tarball from there. I downloaded and showed the impact. So I didn't check for whether I could upload as well or not. So I earlier mentioned that there are three types of token, right? The read-only token, the read and publish token, and then the CIDI whitelisted. So if this token, which I assume would have been only read-only, but if it would have been a read and publish only, so I could have published some malicious package and all those users would get affected. So probably due to that, they awarded the double bounty amount because it impacted the whole infrastructure for them. So that's pretty much about that. So yeah, let's talk about this source mapping thing also. So if we have some JS file which has a source map, so if you've seen the DevTools in the sources part, so there it would show that source mapping URL, and Chrome would automatically decompile this JS into its source contributors. Like if it has a few packages which are incorporated and the Webpack has compiled one JS file. So if there's a source mapping file as well, and if Chrome fetches that itself, so it would try to show it in different folders, and then you could easily see the source code for that. So you might ask that if I was already able to see the source code, then what's the point of that token, right? So actually, if it's not that you could see all the source files, and that too there would be a lot of files that would be ununified, and it won't be as easy as getting a tarball for that. And these tarballs contained private repositories for other things, other private repositories, and then you could npm get those private repositories, and from there on you would get other private repositories. So you could have gone down the rabbit hole and you would have fetched all the packages on their side, on the private registry. So that's pretty much about it. So eventually they awarded $8,000 bounty for that. So I told earlier that there would be a difference. I would be talking about the automation that I have now placed into my, you could use it as well. So the key takeaways I would say is the look for secrets in JS files. People do it all often. You could have some automation around that. Learn using browsers, DevTools. They are quite handy and they would help you a lot. You would save a lot of time as well. Persistent is the key, and always stay updated with the tools. I was not doing bug hunting for 1.5 years, but I still read articles and all those things, very few articles, but I read articles about new tools coming up, the new bug hunting methodology, level up methodology thing. So if you are reading those or you are looking at those tools, they might come in handy. I'm a security engineer, so I use those tools in my security environment to secure the company that I work for. So that helps me there as well. So we have built some automation to secure our company and using these low hanging fruits. So I told that I would be talking about the burp where you could automate finding these tokens. So there's two ways. So the first one is this secret finder. So you could import this using the extender tab, and it's a single Python file where you could have all the regexes, and then it would automatically check and show in the issues thing. It could also show in the output thing. However, I am facing some difficulty. I tried it here. If you could see the extensions. So I'm not getting any output here. I should have got an output. I went to some file. I went to some URLs where they had some secret which matched the regex, but it wasn't showing any output here. So I have also raised an issue here. So I think the author replied. I tried that as well. So there might be some issue. I would check. If he replies, I would check it. So the other one is a pro plugin, which is error message checks. So it basically does a regex match grep through responses, and if it finds some error message based on it has a list of regexes which it matches with every response. So if it finds that, so it reports that in the issues tab that this regex has been found or this issue has been found. So I've made a list of these other tokens and regexes. So this one is my personal regex that I use. And the other, all these are from the GF tool which Tom Nom Nom has. So the JSON files that I extracted. So this particular one might give you a lot of false positives. You could tweak it accordingly. So you just have to go to this raw link, and then you when you are using the pro version of this. So in this in the error message check tab, you could load the regexes from any of the URL. So you just need to pass this URL as like the link for the extension, and these all regexes would automatically get imported to that. And you would see issues in real time, like whenever you visit a website, the JS files would be analyzed and be marked as that this particular issue has been found in something. So that's pretty much about it. So like the channel and subscribe to it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I will be talking about the WebSocket bugs that I found. That would also be coming up soon, in probably the next week or in the week after that. So that's all. Share this video with whomsoever you feel like. So that's all about it. Thank you.